Baat. We're very fortunate to have with us Sree here. He's written this book which is called as NDTV Frauds. And we are here to interview him on the book, what propelled him to write the book, and something about the book, the certain questions that we have.
You see, I edit a website called pgurus.com, and I have been writing about various instances of illegalities, of stock manipulation, tax evasion, money laundering, and I thought, why not combine all this and make it a simple to understand book, which sort of captures the chronology of how NDTV has grown to be what it is. That's the effort of that.
So my question to you is, your Twitter account basically talks about from parenting to patenting.
Yes.
Now in this whole, where was this idea of writing a book, say, targeted at a specific channel? Why did you target NDTV, and and how did you process the book?
I have been an inventor. I have more than 30 patents. And these are worldwide patents, not just in the United States, but in Europe and China, Taiwan, Korea, and so on. So, as one thing led to the other, P-Guru's growth, we started first covering different stocks and so on. And what we noticed was that India's market appears to be open, but it is not. A lot of things started, hiccups. A lot of hiccups started happening. And then I said, well, maybe there is something else that I need to do. So I started getting more into investigative journalism. Then I, got in touch with a few people who had stories to tell with facts, but that was not being told for various reasons. And one of the things that we stumbled into was NDTV.
So it happened by accident, or was it an innuendo that you had against him?
No, it was the first few stories were happening just by accident. But then once we started digging a little bit deeper, then we saw that this particular channel had been involved in these kinds of things for a long time. Not only that, they would go after people who were brave enough to write about this.
Mr. Prannoy Roy, in his clarification which he had written, he had called you as a post-truth guru, post which you had given a clarification on basis of certain facts. So my question is that, is it, I would say, a fight against a channel which is not tuning to the line of the BJP or the RSS, or it is actually a malified impropriety which is done by the channel?
It's not a fight against a specific channel. Okay. This is just an instantiation of how business runs in India. Okay. You have three parts. There is corporate, there is bureaucracy, and there is politicians. Right? Sure. Now, of these three, politicians are accountable to the electorate. The electorate can elect them in, or they can elect them out. Right? They can vote them out. Whereas the corporates don't change, bureaucracy doesn't change. So between these two, there seems to have been a comfortable arrangement whereby corporates, through the bureaucrats, frame the laws for India, which favor them. I just took one instance to show this network of these three different entities, and that's NDTV. It's got nothing to do with Prannoy Roy.
The book is titled about tax manipulation, right?
Right.
Can you just give us one instance of one of the tax manipulations which you have pointed in your book for the benefit of the viewers?
Yes. So, in 2007, NDTV got an investment of $150 million from a subsidiary of General Electric called NBC Universal. NBC Universal was a global organization which oversees NBC TV in the United States, and NBC Universal also has the Universal theme park, which is Universal Studios. So this is a media company,
sure,
and they were going to invest into NDTV. Right? So investment means what you would expect. So invest NBC, invest in NDTV.
And certain equities.
Yes. Yes. You know what happened?
Sure.
This happened through a maze of shell companies. Through British Virgin Islands, through Netherlands. And there is a diagram that I have depicted in the book that shows how this money came through. And the express reason for doing all this was to not pay income tax. There's also one other case for 2,030 crores, which ED has slapped on them. There are FEMA violations. The VCPL investment was essentially a transfer of ownership from the Roys to an entity which calls itself VCPL.
There is no, you do not know the ownership of that.
Well, VCPL has owners. Their names keep changing.
I see.
Now there is a lot of.
Has it been proven as a shell company?
Yes. The documents are there. If you look at the documents at the end of the book, we give you all the information about who the shareholders were at the time of this transfer.
Yes.
But like a shell company, the actual ownership as to who owns it today, I do not have the information for that.
Right.
But the good news is, to answer your other question, Delhi High Court wanted all the different cases against NDTV combined as a single entity. And they wanted the Income Tax Department, the Enforcement Directorate, CBI, everybody to give a status of where each of their respective investigations stand.
So you are basically pointing out that there is a respective government department, whether it's the ED, the Income Tax, and the CBI,
yes,
all are basically investigating this matter,
yes,
in their own locus standi.
Yes, and they submitted
okay,
interim report.
What's the report given to the Delhi High Court? What's the stand
Yes,
right
it was done last Friday,
yes,
and the report's contents are published in our website. So if you go and look at deepgurus.com, there is a report on what the ED published.
Is this a submission which is given in the court?
Yes.
Okay.
It was submitted in Delhi High Court.
Okay.
And that is running a thread. What also happened was the 525 crore tax payment, NDTV went and appealed it in a thing called IT80, Income Tax Something Tribunal. And they kind of stayed it for some time. On that specific stay, the Delhi High Court said that's no longer valid.
Right.
These people have exceeded their authority.
Right.
They cannot stay. So the 525 crores money was due immediately.
Right.
So then what happened? NDTV said, we are going to appeal this decision. We are going to go to the Supreme Court. And that Supreme Court event was to happen on the 27th, Monday. However, when Supreme Court opened on Monday, their lawyer was not well.
Right.
And therefore, now, Supreme Court is going to hear it on the 10th of April.
So in this case, when such a transfer of ownership is done, whether the document, what does the document say, whether the approval from the ministry was given, yes or no?
The answer is no. And I found that out from the filings of a minority shareholder. Now remember that NDTV is a publicly traded company.
Yes.
It has 45,000 shareholders. And one of the minority shareholders filed a complaint in the Delhi High Court, which is really the cause for all these things coming together at one place, so that one High Court, one judge, can look at all the evidence presented in front of him.
NDTV's tagline is trust. That's the channel's tagline is trust. And if this case is actually proven in the honorable court that they are found to be convicted and they are found to be guilty, on a larger level, my question is that would you believe that this will be a breach of trust with the viewers who've been viewing the channel? Or will the viewers look at it as saying that, okay, this was a channel which was against the establishment and that's why it will be taken to court?
You know, it's a very good question.
Sure.
But I think the Indian voter is far wiser than what we give them credit for. If even 10% believe what NDTV said verbatim, or any other media, for example, then that would be reflected in the elections. Why is it that the voter displays far greater wisdom while voting?
You are a small group out there going against a very big entity which has been there in the industry, which has a lot of friends out there. Do you believe that you will be able to be successful in this mission? And imagine in a scenario where the Delhi High Court, because it's a complicated matter,
right,
finds that the allegations or the documents proven there are not correct or improper, and the case and the judgment goes in the favor of NDTV. What then?
Well, it's up to the minority shareholders to take the battle to the next level.
Okay.
You see, any court case, right? You have to give them the number of chances to, prove it right or wrong. But ultimately, justice does get done. I mean, it is my firm belief.
Will you basically go against every other corporate entity out there which you find is or which you perceive to be committing such frauds, or which you perceive to be committing tax manipulation, or it's justified against NDTV?
This is just an instantiation of what is happening in the Indian industry.
Okay.
I'm all for transparency in the Indian industry, because you will not get foreign direct investment from reputable players if they feel that India is not a place where things can be transparent.
Ladies and gentlemen, the objective of doing this interview is very simple. Let's keep it out in the public, let's keep it to the viewers, and let the viewers out there judge that the merits of the case and the merits of the argument out there. And the matter is in the Delhi High Court, and may truth win is what I would say and end this interview. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much.